is showing right now, but anyway, we'll just let YouTube at turn 7 as Finlay is ahead, but let's remember he has the track limits penalty. Actually, is it track limits? Yes, it is track limits. 3 seconds this, maybe P6, but anyway, it's something we will see later at the end of the race. As Felix is still defending the lead from Catch Racer. Now they are 5 tenths apart, so Catch Racer actually is struggling to use the DRS to his advantage and to actually make a move. So it's Felix's chance to get away from Catch Racer, use this temporary lack of pace from Catch Racer to try and get away. But Catch Racer, obviously, he's not giving up. We know he will never give up to get the positions. He just needs to be patient and to stay consistent with his race pace, which at the end of the day is the most important thing in racing in general. Just stay consistent, keep a cool head, don't make any mistakes, and you're off to a good result. But now, going back to the commentary action, as Catch Racer still has DRS, but not enough for a move. Now Finlay and Marco actually battling, they go side by side through turn 7, and Finlay gets ahead. Finlay showing a lot of pace today, but they bump wheels through turn 8, but luckily that didn't result in any spin or any crash. And at turn 9, Finlay gets a massive oversteer, but keeps the car on track. If he builds a big gap to the cars behind, he can charge for the podium, as he's definitely showing some great pace right now. As Marco might be out of DRS because it's barely out of the 1 second. We see right now from the telemetry. Yeah, Marco is indeed out of the DRS zone. So now it's a battle for P4 between Marco and Pocho, between the McLaren and the Alpine. It's not a battle for the lead because Felix is still defending the position as best as possible, but Dylan is still on the old hards. He dropped down all the way to P9, he still hasn't changed tires. So he's just sticking with the normal strategy he planned at the beginning of the race, just not adapting to the safety car at all. And yeah, I definitely don't think this was the smartest thing to do, as he's gonna have to box for mediums soon, but that won't bring him anywhere. He'll just stay in P9, and maybe we see if other safety cars will modify the results even more. But at the moment, it doesn't look like there's much battling going on. It's more of a chasing, actually, because Catch Racer is still chasing Felix, as Pocho is chasing Marco. Phantom is somewhat chasing Pocho, but at the moment doesn't look like there's that much of builds a gap and runs away from the chasing Mercedes of Catch Racer in P2. But actually no, because Pocho and Marco are battling through turn 1 and 2, and Pocho having to go a little bit off track after turn 2. Not sure what happened there, but okay, we'll stay with these guys with the cameras as they're battling for P4 and P5. No, actually they're battling for no, they're not battling for the podium, because Finlay has built quite a gap. As he's in P3, his penalties at the moment will not affect the race. So yeah, Pocho and Marco are battling for P1. No, P1. What am I saying? It's P4 and P5. I don't know where P1 came from. But yeah, it is still a chase between these drivers. Now actually Marco has dropped out of DRS from Pocho. They're not in the 1 second gap anymore. Phantom is in the DRS of Marco actually. So it's gonna be a battle for P5 between the Aston Martin and the McLaren. It's lap 18 actually, as Felix is still doing a wonderful job keeping that position, but I have to point out that Kart Racer has closed the gap a little bit more than it was before, because now it's only 3 tenths, barely 4. Well, now it's 5, but yeah, it was a smaller gap than what it was in the other laps before. As Kart Racer has DRS after turn 5 once again. It's still not enough for a move, but the gaps are definitely getting closer by the time we move on with the race. But at the moment it is still a chasing between Felix and Kart Racer, between the Ferrari and the Mercedes. You know, actually, I forgot to describe the Constructors' Championship situation, because I described the drivers, but now that I think about it, I didn't look at the Constructors, because it is still between Ferrari and Mercedes, but I wasn't updated on the points actually. Let me check real quick. As my phone decides to not load. Now, what is his standings? Okay, Ferrari is leading with 210 points and Mercedes 193 points. It's a 17 points gap between Ferrari and Mercedes. The thing is, Kart Racer's teammate Blester, he was just showing poor attendance, to be honest, and that's what's costing the team quite a lot of points, because Ferrari is still solid with Felix and Jonathan both scoring good points. Not as an offense or anything, but Felix is doing the hard work, winning the races and fighting for the championship, and Jonathan is doing that solid job to give the team even more points, so that they have an advantage on Mercedes. And at the moment Jonathan is holding on in P7. He has a penalty, but Marco is that far behind. Well, actually, Marco and Dylan have pitted for fresh mediums. Dylan finally pitting, but Marco is actually going for a 2 stops, unlike Felix, Kart Racer and Pocho, because those 3 are the drivers who went with the mediums during the safety car, and I think they're trying to go to the end. But Marco actually no, he's attempting a 2 stop, so he's on fresh mediums. He will definitely be the fastest car on track right now. Wait, no, actually Marco and Dylan are the fastest tracks, the fastest cars on track. But no offense, but I think Marco has definitely more race pace in him right now. And also Dylan will be losing a little bit of time with JM if JM actually catches up to the Red Bull, and maybe they will battle and lose time. But yeah, I think I can say that Marco is the fastest the fastest car on track right now. Let's look at penalties real quick, because I saw no one is gonna lose position because of penalties. So that's great news for them. So at the moment, the podium is, as you can see right now, Felix leading, Kart Racer in P2 and Finlay in P3. And you know what? Even if Pocho wanted that podium, he cannot stay in the 3-second gap as he could before, because now he got the penalty as well. So if he wants the podium, he needs to actually get past Finlay on track. But if he doesn't, he's still a very solid P4. And oh, JM retired at turn 12. It's a full course safety car. We are on lap 20. We have 12, I think 11 or 10 laps left when the safety car comes into the pits. But JM crashing at turn 12 has brought out the safety car on track. And now everyone, I think, will go into the pits for fresh softs. As Dylan gets a drive-through penalty for speeding under yellow flag. And that's absolutely a race to forget for Dylan. It was such a strong qualifying from him, but then the race, it was so disappointing. Definitely a race to forget for him. It's oh, he crashes into the pit lane! I shouldn't laugh at this, but oh Dylan, oh Dylan. You know what? I don't know if he did that on purpose, but I have to admit it was funny. As I was saying, it was a race to forget for Dylan, and he proceeds to crash in the pit lane 1 second after I finished that sentence. Funny. We're down to 8 drivers right now, and we are watching Felix and Catch Racer going into the pits for fresh softs, as Marco already did. So if we're on lap 21 right now, we may resume on lap 22. I don't know. You know what? Maybe even 23, because Marco definitely has a lot of distance to cover. I don't know, we'll see. So we're either gonna have oh, Felix and Catch Racer are mediums actually. They're not going on softs. Finlay is going on old mediums, changing his front wing, and Phantom is being stuck behind. The double stack definitely didn't work for Aston Martin. What about Phantom? He's using softs. Poggio is on fresh mediums. Phantom is on fresh softs. Jonathan is on fresh mediums. Okay, so Kevin is on fresh softs. Not everyone is going on the softs as I thought they would. Okay. Well, to be honest, I'm not that updated on the tire wear on every track, so I'm not sure if the softs actually can last 9 laps. No, I mean it's only 9 laps. It's only 9 laps, and you're gonna have reduced the tire wear right now with the safety car. They will definitely last, but I think the medium runners right now, I think they're playing it. They're thinking in terms of tire wear, because it is such a long track. The softs will wear out quite quickly, eventually giving the tire advantage to the mediums quite soon, so that the mediums will have more laps when they're actually faster than the softs. Maybe that's what they're thinking. I still would have gone for softs, because I mean, resuming on lap 23, it's 9 laps, and they can last. Like even if I had more tire wear than the mediums, I still think the softs would have been better. But that's if we resume on lap 23, because Marco it is still quite far. I'm not sure if the safety car is gonna come in this lap. Probably not. At this rate, maybe we will resume on lap 24 actually, as the safety car is going past turn 16 and 17. Yeah, he's near the pit lane. Yeah, we will resume on lap 24. It's 1 more lap of safety car, as Marco still needs to catch up to the grid. So resuming on lap 24, it's gonna be 8 laps of racing, which I repeat, it's for me even another reason to actually go on the softs, because now it's only 8 laps. It's even more doable. But interestingly, Finlay has gone on old mediums. Like, he had 2 sets of mediums. He was on old mediums, and then he put the less worn mediums, like still old mediums, but less worn than the mediums he had before the pit stop. So he ran out of mediums. he didn't have fresh mediums as he was already using those 2 sets during the race, and the lap 1 incident he had where he changed his front wing definitely played a part in that. So right now Finlay having the slowest tire of everyone, and also the penalties, it's gonna be tough for him. And Car Tracer, no, actually Pocho, I meant to say Pocho, will have a chance for the podium. He has the slowest tire, he has a slower tire than Kevin, and he has a penalty, but I still wouldn't count him out. I still think we're gonna see a battle for the podium, for the last step of the podium, between Pocho, Kevin, maybe even Phantom. I think even Phantom can put up a good fight. If he goes past Kevin quickly, then he can also attack Pocho, both because of the penalty and because of the tire. Since Finlay is gonna drop down the order anyway, unless he turns into prime Schumacher and starts building a gap with all the mediums. Would be interesting to see these 8 laps. But before that, we need to wait for the restart. The restart that Felix will lead in a few seconds as the safety car is going back into the pits. And the Ferrari will lead the restart here at Singapore, starting lap 24, and he's already gone right now, and the Car Tracer has caught up very well. He's only 4 tenths behind. Very quick reaction from the Mercedes, and everyone is very stacked approaching turn 1, but I'm not seeing any moves yet. There's an Aston Martin going off. It's Finlay, Phantom, I don't know, but I definitely saw an Aston Martin cutting turn 2. Don't know if maybe one of them got pushed off track, I don't know, but anyway, it's most importantly it's a fight for the lead, because Car Tracer is still chasing Felix after these many laps of safety car, and it's only 3 tenths away. Car Tracer definitely cannot make a move right now. DRS will not be enabled until lap 26. After that, there's gonna be 5-6 laps of racing with the DRS enabled. So at the moment, Car Tracer definitely needs to just stay behind, wait for the DRS to be active, and then go for the move. But at the same time, he cannot afford to lose that much time to Felix ahead, as the gap it is staying close to 4 tenths. And it's okay if he stays like that. Maybe a little bit smaller of a gap would obviously be better, but 4 tenths it is still a good job from Car Tracer keeping that gap and staying close. And Pocho is doing not that bad, because he's barely out of the DRS, and I mean, he's doing a good job building the gap from the faster driver behind him, because he needs to defend that podium with the penalties. And if the guys behind keep getting slowed down like this, it will be Pocho's best chance to get that P3. As Finlay actually, I think, is the main reason of why Kevin and everyone behind is being slowed down, as Finlay is defending with the 10 laps old mediums. And that's what is slowing down the drivers behind so much, as Kevin and Phantom on the softs are indeed struggling a lot to get past, because Phantom still needs to get past Kevin, and also Phantom with quite a big oversteer, bit of a slide, but still didn't end up badly. But like I was saying before, he needs to get past Kevin first, and then get past Finlay, and then push enough to stay in the 3 seconds of Pocho. So Pocho right now he will lose the P3, but with this battling going on behind him, it's a perfect chance for him to finally get the podium. Now we're on to lap 26. DRS is enabled, and the midfield is staying very close with all of the cars. And then there's Pocho separating the two top runners and the entire rest of the field behind him. As Catch Racer finally has DRS, but still it is not enough to make a move on Felix. He's still struggling as he was in the phase before the safety car. He was still staying in the DRS, but never actually enough to make a move. So he needs to find that little bit more of pace if he wants to win this race. I made those words rhyme. It wasn't intended, but anyway. It's 5 tenths. It barely goes under 5 tenths even with the DRS. Let's go with Phantom and Kevin, as Phantom is getting very close. And Kevin with a very big move on Phantom that almost resulted into a wall crash. But now Phantom is getting past Kevin. Phantom is in P5, going on the inside of turn 16. That's the Aston Martin up ahead now. He needs to get past his teammate as quickly as possible to then get the podium right ahead of him. Wait, but actually, let me enable the leader, so it's gonna be easier for me to understand the penalties. No, okay, so right now Phantom is effectively on the podium, no matter what position he... I mean, if he stays in P5, Phantom is on the podium. What about Catch Racer? No, he's still not close enough. It's only 2 tenths now, but the DRS is still not enough. Now Phantom gets past his teammate very quickly, and now Finlay will have the job to slow down the cars behind as much as possible. This is peak teamwork right here, so that Phantom will stay behind Pocho and get a very deserved podium. So the two Aston Martin doing a very good job between teammates, maximizing those positions and those points. Very, very solid race from both of them. Phantom getting the result and Finlay doing the teamwork, backing up his teammate. As the Ferrari goes up at the inside of the Haas of Kevin in turn 14, and they contact but not into the wall, not getting damage, I think. But Jonathan now stays into P6 as he gets past the Haas of Kevin. Now Kevin and Marco will actually battle for P7 as they're very, very close behind. But at the top of the field, it is still the same situation as before. Catch Racer is indeed struggling to get past. Oh, Phantom got a penalty! And that mixes up the situation a lot, because now Phantom, if he wants a podium, he needs to get past Pocho on track. That has definitely changed the situation right now, as Phantom is also on the softs, and after 6 laps I think this might be the first signs of softs starting to become slower than the mediums. Oh, that's a shame for Phantom. If he didn't have the penalty, he would have had a podium in his hand, but now he needs to get past the Alpine of Pocho on track and as soon as possible, as Jonathan and Finlay almost go side by side through turn 10. Luckily that didn't happen, but anyway, this is great news for Pocho, as the driver behind him just got a track limits penalty, and now his chance for a podium is finally back. But at the top of the field, it is still the same situation as before. We are approaching the last 3 laps of this race, and Felix is still leading, as Catch Racer is in P2, but still not enough to get the position. He still has the DRS, he's still staying very, very close to the Ferrari, but still he needs to find that little bit more of pace. It's only 3 laps. He will not have that many occasions to actually try and make a move. Finlay gets another 3-second time penalty. That's gonna compromise his results even more. But now Catch Racer with the DRS is 3 tenths. Will he finally make a move before turn 7? No, he still can't. And it's great news for Felix, but let's look at the ERS real quick, because okay, Catch Racer has the entirety of energy left. Felix is okay. Felix is also very good. He didn't use energy. I mean, he used very little of it. So these two will go all out on the last lap. So right now we just need to wait until lap 31. Right now they're only chasing each other, because the actual duel, the actual battle for the race win will happen on the last lap, as they will use all of the energy, and Phoenix will defend at every single possible corner, while Catch Racer will attack at every single possible corner. Anyway, we'll go back with the cameras on. We'll go back to the leaders. Because they are not in attacking mode right now. Felix is not defending, Catch Racer is not attacking, but actually he's getting very close with the DRS. He's closer than ever, only 1/10. We make a move, he stays on the outside of turn 7. Does he make a move? They go side by side, and they're actually battling now into turn 8. Who's gonna be ahead between Felix and Catch Racer? And they're going all different lines now into turn 9. They're still side by side, the Mercedes and the Ferrari. They go very close to the wall as Catch Racer gets a better exit. He stays on the outside of turn 10, and he gets the move done. He's in P1 now. He needs to defend against Felix on this 1 lap and a half left until the end of the race. Felix leading the race for the vast majority of these laps. Now he got passed by Catch Racer. But this is great news, because Felix will have DRS right now, and he will have the chance to attack as much as possible on the last lap, using the DRS, using the energy as left that he still has in his car. And it's gonna be an all-out duel between these two, as Catch Racer now is in the opposite position that he was before, because now he's actually the driver who needs to defend. As the Mercedes goes across the line, it's the start of the final lap of the Singapore Grand Prix, as Felix has the DRS right before turn 1, but that's obviously not the main passing opportunity. The main one will be on after turn 5, so Felix needs to get the exit of turn 5 absolutely right to get close as much as possible, as he has DRS, but now everyone I mean both of them will use all of the energy that's left into the car. They will push as much as possible. I'm running out of breath. Felix needs to attack as hard as possible. He needs to push like crazy to get close to Catch Racer, but actually Catch Racer, he's building a gap even more. Look at these gaps. He's putting Felix out of DRS. He's showing an immense pace right now all of a sudden. I think Felix will be out of DRS after the hairpin of turn 13. Yes, they're 1.6 seconds apart. Catch Racer finding an immense amount of pace on the last lap. I think it was also thanks to the energy, but completely building a gap on only 1 lap. Now they're 2 seconds apart. That's very impressive stuff, as Catch Racer is out of energy and there is no chance for Felix. He was leading the vast majority of this race, but eventually at the end it is Catch Racer in the Mercedes winning this duel and winning this Singapore Grand Prix, as he goes across the finish line in P1, and Felix will finish this race in P2. And Pocho with a wonderful drive. Let me see the penalties real quick. Yes, they both have 3 second points for the Ferrari team as a whole. And I'm gonna have to go through the rest of the field in a few seconds. But Pocho gets driver of the day. I absolutely agree, because there was a wonderful drive from the Italian in the Alpine as he gets a podium. It's been quite a long time since I last saw Pocho really shine in Division 1. It's great to see that. But at the first step of the podium, it's always the German driver in the German team. It is Catch Racer in the Mercedes, so once again winning here in Singapore, and he will gain many points on Felix. He will definitely get the championship lead right now. We'll see real quick. Felix actually has the fastest lap, so the gap will be of 10 points as Catch Racer leads the race, Felix will be 10 points behind. It's gonna be 10 points to recover at the last 2 races of the season. But anyway, Catch Racer wins, and Felix is in P2 with Pocho. Wonderful drive, stays in P3. Jonathan in P4, Kevin also, wonderful drive from him, he's in P5. Phantom in P6, and Finlay runs off in P7. Marco in P8, Dylan in P9, GM getting the last point in P10, and then Sully with an unfortunate game issue, and Bazooka with a crash involving Sully. They are both out of the points here in Singapore. Great timing as the stream disconnected right as I was going through the race results. Luckily that didn't happen before, so yeah, perfect timing. So this was the end of the Singapore Grand Prix, of the 10th round of season 13. Now we're only gonna have 2 races left to see who's gonna win this championship. It's once again a fight between Catch Racer and Phoenix, but we're gonna see who's gonna actually come out on top of this fight in this season right here. Because for Felix it's 10 points to recover in the last 2 races, which are gonna be Jeddah, which will be a very interesting one. Produces great racing, and if you know Jeddah, it produces also great terrorism. And then after that we will have the season finale at the wonderful track of Interlagos, a perfect track to round off the season and round off the game cycle. But before that, you're gonna have to wait for Division 2, as Division 2 on Wednesday will have its race at Singapore, and then next Saturday we will go ahead with Division 1 in Jeddah. So up until that, we will see you next week.